how do we select the right people? How do we, what quality are we looking for to give the optimum way of imagining?
I think in an ideal world, it is, a set of people who are open to the concept that, imagination can provide something useful, that, they've already bought into the concept to some extent. At the same time, it's enormously valuable to take people who do not necessarily believe in the value of imagination, put them through an imaginative exercise, and to the extent that they realize something that they hadn't before, that they think of something they hadn't before, they pluck something out of the shelling zone and put it into the realm of at least the known unknown, where they can start to think about it. Now their mental model, not only about what the future could plausibly look like, has changed, but they've gained a dose of humility, which we talked about before,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
epistemic humility, to put a fancy term on it. And I think that humility is absolutely essential when we consider the future, because it is almost guaranteed to be stranger than we expect. It is certain to surprise in some fashion.
Yeah.
And so, there is no one right person to put in the room, but I do think that diversity is enormously important when it comes to scenario exercises, because people see different facets of the same problem. If you take that, quoting that undifferentiated mass of uncertainty, everybody sees a little bit of a different piece of it, and they can combine them in different ways. And it's through those recombinations that I think, in part, we come to new realizations.
Wonderful. And part of the privilege of taking your class was allowing us, I think, 2.5 days before we got into the exercise, or 3 days, I don't remember, where you have warmed us up. You have, done all the clay in your hand to make sure that we are softened, and we are ready to think in the way that we need. Without somebody like you, without the leadership, I think it's more challenging for just throw a group of people together and start imagining. I think must be a set of rules, is too strong a word, but a set of processes that we need to go through in order to set our mind in a state that can maximize or optimize the outcome that we're seeking. Would you agree with that?
I think that's right. I think most concretely, I think facilitation is crucial to good scenario generation. More broadly, you're getting at a point that I think is very important. It's a bit of a paradox, where some constraints are actually liberating. So when we put some constraints on our imagination, it's not just, hey folks, sit at a table and imagine something new, because people will look at you with blank stares. But if you put some structure around the exercise,
Hmm.
then they are better able to generate new ideas. And so, structure actually enables a sort of freedom, which sounds paradoxical and even Orwellian, and yet that's what happens.